Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how to get this beautiful look right here. It's a great everyday look, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first we're going to start with foundation. I like to take about a dime-sized amount of product and I put it on the back of my hand because I'm classy like that. I use my fingers to apply some product. I start from the center of my face and I work my way outwards, covering if there's any red spots or anything that needs to be covered a little more. I focus on those areas, but I'm really trying to avoid that line that you get on the jaw. So next we're going to take our concealer. And I start by concealing under my eyes, any dark spots, also any blemishes, and I use my ring finger to kind of blend outwards because you don't want to damage any of that sensitive tissue underneath your eyes. So in this next step, we're going to be using a brightener, and I'm using the YSL Touche Eclat in a peach tone. And right now I'm just concealing right underneath my eyes where I might have any dark circles, and I'm dotting it on, and then I'm going to go in with my ring finger and be very gentle when you do this, but just kind of blend, lightly tapping. You don't have to put too much pressure on this area, it's very sensitive. I also like to put a little bit on top of my lid and underneath my brow instead of using like a light eyeshadow or a white, which I know I used to use that. I would recommend using an eye brightener. And then you can also use it any other dark spots on your face. You can use that to kind of help conceal. So let's do our brows. I'm using a brow pencil. You can use whatever you're comfortable with, but I'm just using light brush strokes, kind of following along my natural brow. You don't want anything too harsh. You also don't want to go too far in between the brows, and you don't want to drag it out too far outside where your natural brows are. Also, it's not shown in this video, but the brow brush on the end is really great for helping to blend the brow and make it look a little more natural, not so harsh. Now I'm going to take my bronzer, and I'm actually going to use this as my eyeshadow for this look because I like how natural and glowy bronzers usually tend to be, and they're usually in a really good shade. So I'm just dusting it on my eyelid and not going above my crease. I'm also going to take a little bit of that bronzer and put it just right below the corner of the underneath of my eye, just to kind of give it a little more polished of a look. Now here's one of my favorite things, eyeliner. I'm using a gel liner by MAC, and I like to stay, because I don't have giant eyes like some people, and so I like to stay on the outer corners of my eye. So I'm using very light brush strokes. You don't have to drag the liner all the way across. Just lightly brush on the eyeliner, and I like to kind of drag mine out a little bit. So I'm kind of creating that angle, not going too far into the corners. I'm also keeping it really thick towards the outer corners. So I'm not really putting a ton of liner, maybe just on the inside corners of my inner eye, but I'm making that line towards the end a little bit thicker, and it kind of creates the illusion of opening up the eye. Now I'm going to take my liquid eyeliner and just kind of go in and apply it on top of the gel liner. And what this does, it just kind of gives it a little more finished look. And you can go in, you can define it a little more if you want more of a point, if you like that, more of a cat eye. Or you can go in very, with like a really thin line towards the inner corners of your eye. The liquid liner will help you do that. Now one of my favorite liners is a gold liner that I'm going to use on the inner corners of my eye. Kind of brightens them up, and I'm also going to apply that right underneath the bottom lash line. I don't like to use too dark of a color because I don't want to close my eye up, which is what a black or a dark color could do, but I'm going to use that gold right underneath, and it kind of opens up. So now I'm going to take a little bit of concealer, and now that we've finished the eyes, if you've made any mistakes, this is the time to correct them. So I take a little bit of that concealer and just apply it underneath that line that you've made, and it kind of helps give a really even finished look. And don't forget to blend. Now the next step is mascara. So I like to kind of rock, if you start at the very base tips of your lashes and kind of rock up, that kind of helps to separate them a little bit and give a nice even coating to them. Really focus on getting that down at the base of your lashes. Okay, so if you are like me, you will probably get makeup all over you. So I got some mascara where my eyeshadow was on my eyelid, and so I had to fix it. So I just took some of that brightening concealer, went over it with mascara, and then just replaced the eyeshadow right on top. Simple fix. So now I'm taking some cream blush that it comes in a pump, and this one is Armani, and I really love it because it has a little luminosity to it. And so I'm just taking my ring finger again and tapping it on my cheekbone. You don't want to go too close to the apples of your cheeks. You want to focus more on the high part of your cheekbone because you don't want to look like a clown. Also, make sure it's nice and blended. You don't want any lines to show a line of blush. I am now going to finish up with some translucent powder. I'm just swirling my brush around there, kind of shaking it off and dusting it lightly on my face. And for the grand finale, I'm finishing with a peach MAC lipstick. I think this one's called Lovelorn. Pretty sure. But that. And here's the final look. Thank you for watching. Also, be sure to check out our tutorial for this Danielle Bradbury inspired bun that you see in the picture here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and our Facebook information is below if you have any comments or questions.